Let's turn our attention now to Joe LaFurgey, who's standing by at Central High School. Joe?
Hi, Sue. Yeah, Betty Bloomer, as Rick pointed out, her maiden name, graduated here from Central in 1936. And Rick, you talked about the Fords meeting and pretty much moving to Washington soon after they got married. Betty Bloomer left high school in 1936, spent a little time here, then headed to New York for a short time. She loved to dance, and she actually was able to join a portion of Martha Graham's dance troupe there in New York. That was always a love of hers, and they obviously, again, you said, came back here to Grand Rapids eventually. She met Jerry Ford, they married, they moved right after he was elected to Congress, and spent much of the rest of their life raising their kids in Alexandria, Virginia. But Betty always appreciated her Grand Rapids upbringing. Long after she and Jerry moved to Washington, Mrs. Ford would talk about the lessons learned right here in West Michigan.
I was very much in awe of everything, and I wasn't a political person, but I learned to be one. I think growing up in Grand Rapids was of great benefit, and it was a benefit to our children because we had a standard for them.
Standards seem to be a theme of that family throughout the years, despite living in Washington, living in Alexandria, and again, bringing the kids up in that area. And as you said, Rick, the family, husband and wife, had different goals in the beginning, different political goals. He wanted to be Speaker of the House. She wanted to be wife of the Speaker of the House. And all of a sudden, there they are, First Lady and President. But they've always said, both of them have said many times, that the upbringing of the kids always had that West Michigan feel to it, that West Michigan sensibility. Both of them brought to Washington and kept with them. And obviously, when Jerry Ford became president, a lot of that West Michigan sensibility played into that. You can still hear it as you have talked, Rick, so many times to the Ford children throughout the years, that that sensibility stayed with them and really kind of helped them become, even though a Washington power couple, they still had that West Michigan to them, that West Michigan roots to them. And again, everything that we like to have here brought to Washington, and it played out in his politics, it played out in the way she became a First Lady that so many people eventually look up to. Again, at the time, that was something different. People weren't used to a First Lady that spoke out about things like breast cancer, like alcoholism, like all these things that the Equal Rights Amendment as well. She really almost, and you might agree with this, kind of set the tone for the modern day First Lady. Really coming out and speaking out about these issues, and I keep using this word sensibility, but that's really what it was. It brought that home to Washington, and it's something people in West Michigan could identify with, even though it might be something they weren't used to hearing at the time. So really a really interesting case study in history and First Ladies when you think about Betty Ford and where she came from, what she did, and in the end, the surprise, if you will, of becoming First Lady and what she brought to that position. So history, I'm sure, will remember her for all of those things. Back to you.